Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2016 Chevy Sonic. Up front is a 1.8 liter inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Chevy Sonic because this is one of the last truly basic American cars that you could buy. Here's another one. They were popular, and so today we're going to be taking a look at what really basic necessities used to be like 10 years ago, but also why it's such a bad sign that we don't have cars like this anymore. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Last but not least, huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me borrow the Chevy Sonic in today's video. I also reviewed their 2018 Chevy Sonic, so go check out their inventory down in the description below. But let's get back to that 1.8 liter inline 4 under the hood. Well, it is an Ecotec engine and it makes 138 horsepower. It's not anything special. It's not anything showboaty. It's a dual cam 4-cylinder that was really meant to do a job. Now they did also offer a 1.4 liter turbo inline 4 and that made 138 horsepower also. It made the exact same horsepower. However, it made about 25 more pound-feet of torque, so that was the zippier, more fun option for the Chevy Sonic. This was more of the workhorse, and that makes sense for the basicness of this car. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's shifting well. 2016, 6-speed, totally fine with me. And it is not the CVT that the Chevy Spark got. So I'm very happy to see that they at least moved away from the CVT for the last few years of this car's run. Last but not least, of course, the Sonic is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Sonic? It's fine. It's very, very much a rental car feel. Pretty numb in the steering, although it's rather nimble just because of its size. Visibility is actually pretty good. This is the Sedan. They also sold a hatchback that had a little bit worse rearward visibility, but again, a little bit more practicality. The engine is pretty laggy. You put your foot down, you check your watch, you take a sip of water, and then the power comes on. It's not very directed. It's not very interested or interesting. It's a car. It is the answer to a problem, and we'll talk about why that's a very good thing towards the end of the video. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a very strange gauge cluster. Off to the left is my tachometer, but then I get a digital speedometer, digital fuel gauge, miles still empty, odometer, all of that is digital off to the right. Really feels like they cut this out of a side-by-side or motorcycle. On the steering wheel, speaking of side-by-side, we do have our volume and source, but it is a lopsided, asymmetrical steering wheel with its controls. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, headlight switch, and gauge dimmer switch. And moving on to the door, we have our lock and unlock, but that's the only power option here. Up at the top, we have manual mirrors, and down below, we have manual windows. This is a very basic Chevy product. Moving into the center, we do get a cubby way up at the top. We get 2 climate control vents and the double din radio. Nothing of interest here. Favorites, that's pretty much it. Down below, we have another lock and unlock switch, hazard switch, and our climate controls. Temperature off to the left, fan speed in the center, where to send it off to the right. Then we do have the shifter in the center, controlling that 6-speed automatic. Again, plain Jane and uninteresting. And then we do have a 12-volt outlet here in the center. We get our trunk release and traction control off. We do get 2 cup holders, however, and I am happy to report that the Chevy Sonic actually does, in fact, pass the big friggin' model test. Now, that is not something I would have thought. The seats are cloth and manual. It'd be weird if they were heated and leather, but they are cloth and manual. They are holding me within the confines of the Chevy Sonic. and that is its one and only job here today. It doesn't care about my arthritis or my back or my L4, L5. Nope. Did you fall out of the car? No? Then it did the right job. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. I imagine this is going to be a little bit of a bloodbath, but alas, I must do it. Getting into the back of the Chevy Sonic Sedan, and as I suspected, not a whole ton of space. I can show off my Oscar Mayer Wienermobile socks. That's pretty cool. But we get like a single cup holder. We get no center console. We get a fun pattern on the seats for sure. We get a light up here. I guess that's nice. And if I spread my legs a little bit, they don't hit. Head height is decent as well. I can manage back here. I could ride back here. Would I be the happiest person in the world? No. I would be pretty upset if I had to spend an extended amount of time back here, but it is doable. It's not the worst thing in the world. We do have cranks. There we go. Even though the car is off, we can still lower the windows via crank. Love to see that. It's a back seat. It has a back seat. That was like literally they just had to check a box. So I don't expect much back here. Let's hop into the very back. Again, don't expect much with the trunk, but then we'll talk about the looks. Don't expect much. One of the number one questions I get asked all the time is, Zach, what car can I use to carry 2 tires? Well, Chevy Sonic is your answer, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. You get a little cargo net. That's about it. Nothing really to write home about. The trunk was sizable enough. You know, you could fit decent amount of luggage in here, take that weekend trip, take that week or 2 week long road trip in your little Chevy Sonic if you wanted to. It's not great. They did offer this in a hatchback, and I do have a hatchback review on my channel as well, so please go check that out. But if you opted for the sedan, this is what you got. And, you know, fitting 2 tires in here, that's actually pretty decent. So I'll give that a thumbs up here on the Shooting Cars channel. Now we got to talk about the looks. I think the front end is ugly. I think the rest of it is fine. There is a facelift, and I have a review of that on my channel. Here's what the facelift looks like. So much better. I really don't like this sort of robot eye front end that this has on it. Overall, I don't think it's an ugly vehicle necessarily, but it's also not quite the looker. And so, it's fine. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Chevy Sonic from 2016 here on the channel? Well, I don't love this experience. It doesn't drive great. You know, the build quality is questionable in areas. It's a little Stuart car, for sure. I can't say I would want one of these at home. However, this car served and continues to serve a very important purpose. This is a basic form of transportation. It has crank windows, manual mirrors, and was probably originally bought for $15,000-ish. That can't be said here today. The cheapest Chevy you can buy is the Chevy Trax. That forces you into an SUV. And some people don't want that. Some people don't need that. Some people don't need much. And so if you just needed a point A to point B vehicle, the Chevy Sonic was here for you. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't a comfortable ride. It offered you nothing. This is the Spirit Airlines of the auto world. But there's a reason why Spirit Airlines is popular. Because people spend their money on other things. People have other needs in their life. And so when you walk to the car dealer, yeah, you can spring for the nicer version. You could spring for the nicer car. Yes, this shared a dealer lot with the Impalas. Go buy one of those. That was a way more tremendously better experience than this car, but that's not exactly what everyone's looking for. Yes, McDonald's is low quality. It's low quality food. but it fulfills that purpose. When you've been driving for 9 hours and you just need something to make your stomach stop rumbling, McDonald's is there like a beacon in the night. That's what this car is. This is budget oriented, but that's not always a bad thing. There will always be nice things for rich people, but not everything needs to be. And so this was basic transport. While I might not personally enjoy driving this around, I might not love how it revs or feels, this served a mighty purpose, and I'm very appreciative of that. I wish that there were more cars available in the American market with crank windows and manual mirrors, with manual seats, without giant screens in them, without adaptive cruise and sensors and beeps and signals. And when I say this car continues to do that job, it's for sale right now for cheap. Someone's gonna buy this that just needs a car. They're gonna drive it for a little while and probably sell it to someone that just needs a car. It is going to keep fulfilling that prophecy that it set out to do. And that's why I don't like the Chevy Sonic, but I respect it. And I tip my cap to what it was able to do, which was put people into a new car for an affordable price. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me borrow their Chevy Sonic for today's video. They're absolutely wonderful. Please go browse their inventory with the link down in the description below. They always have fun, cool, and interesting vehicles. The Chevy Sonic was the flavor of the day today, but it might change for you tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.